very bad woman. Had her own sniper platoon down there, and I think they were out to get all my snipers, myself, everybody. And she had been there because we took over from 3rd Division, and she had been there when the 1st Division took over. And she just continued to march. She had been torturing a lot of people prior to us getting there. And that was the primary objective, kind of, for me. And I was in her own backyard. She was tromping out of mine, and I didn't like that. And she sent that one kid that she'd captured all night, half the next day. And he come running to the wire, happened to be on a bunker, and was observing and listening. And that morning she turned him loose. He come to the wire and died right in the wire.
This one was personal.
This one was very, very personal. Very personal. And when I got that lady, which was a kind of a happenstance, you know, E.J. Land, Captain E.J. Land and I, Captain E.J. Land was my officer in charge. And he and I were out on the position, and we saw a hamburger coming across, and I think I had the rifle that time, and we were in the midst of switching rifles, and I saw him, E.J. saw him, and we were kind of wrestling for the rifle, you know. Give me that, no, give me that, I'll take a shot. Yeah. It was comedy of errors, all it was, comedy of errors. And, of course, bad guy got away. And he must have went back and told his boss. And there was a little knoll there, and we had on Carl Artie. Oh, I always had that. And saw her coming, saw the group coming, and there was about 5 of them. And saw her squat down to tinkle. And I ascertained it was her. And E.J. called in Artie, turned her loose. And they called him behind them, actually. And they run right down that little knoll, right towards us. Mistake. And the guy in front of her was trying to get her to stop, because they were running right towards us where they'd seen us before. He was trying to get her to stop. She didn't. But I stopped her. And I put on 1 extra for good measure. Because that was the best shot I ever made, I think. Best shot I ever made.
Under marksmanship, we covered follow-through, which is a kind of focusing of your consciousness. That's one personal trait that a sniper needs to master, as well as patience, meticulous attention to detail. Carlos Hathcock has some thoughts on personal experiences when he focused so tight that it was as if a bubble was around him. What makes a good shooter? What are the kinds of skills and controls and attributes?
Really got to have a good head on your shoulders to be able to absorb everything that's going on around you. In competition shooting, you have to absorb everything going on around you, and to bring your skills up to the utmost. And I call it getting in my bubble. Nothing but pure, absolute, utter concentration on the job you're doing at the time, which is what I did when I was sniping. I learned it when I was competing. When I was competing. When I won the Wimbledon, I did not know at that time I had won it until somebody's near about stepping on my back, people policing up my brass. And I'm thinking, what's going on? What is going on? Did I lose? What? I didn't know. I had no idea. And people pat me on the back, and it's nothing but concentration, pure concentration. And that's what I used in Vietnam as a sniper.
During his Vietnam combat sniping days, Carlos Hathcock practiced what we call stalking today, but he called it worming, crawling so close to the ground that it was as if he was an earthworm. We can thank Gunnery Sergeant Hathcock for having developed the doctrine of stalking that all of our services practice today. The mission in which you probably set some kind of a record on stalking was when you snuffed that NVA general. And you stalked, what, 1,000 yards?
Approximately a little over, about 1,200 actually.
1,200 yards. It took you, what, 3 days to stalk it?
3 days and nights. And one of the fourth day is when I completed my mission.
Story from beginning to end. You were at the end of your first tour in Vietnam?
Right at the end of it. And normally, when you take on a mission like that, when you're that short, you forget everything. You know, tactics, a whole ball of wax, and you end up dead. And I did not know what none of my people did. And so I took the mission on myself. And figuring I was maybe a little bit better than all the rest of them. Because I was the one training them all. Supposed to be better. And I come out of the tree line back there and got onto the open land. And I went to my side. I didn't go flat on my belly because it made a bigger slug trail when I was on my belly. And I wormed on my side very minutely, very minutely. I knew I had a long ways to go. Didn't want to tire myself out too much. And patrols were within arm's reach of me. I could have tripped majority, some of them. And they didn't even know I was there. I was in their backyard. I was in their backyard. And they didn't expect a one-man attack. They didn't expect that. And I knew from the first time when they was coming lollygagging by me that I had it made now. This would be good. This would be real good. So I just continued squirming along, worming along, and come many patrols come by. There was two twin 51s on my left, two twin 51s on my right. And I could see them cooking their groceries and wishing I was there to have a little bit of it, but I was definitely hungry. I was thirsty. But you got a job to do. You can't let none of that enter. Just you're in your bubble, and that's all is your job. Your job. And crawl up on that little rise with an escape route to my right, out to the tree line. I was in between all the 51s, and which were set up for air attacks. I don't believe they'd get down that far, thank goodness. And seen all the guys running around that morning, and I dumped the bad guy. And
how far a shot?
It was 700 yards, right where I had my rifle zeroed at. What I estimated to be 700 yards, and by my map, 700 yards. Where I had my rifle zeroed. And I estimated the wind, and the temperature, humidity, the whole ball of wax. Tried to run through my mind real quick. And it worked out pretty good. Worked out right fair. And then I had to get out, had to get away. When I made the shot, everybody run the opposite direction because that's where the trees were. That's where the trees were. And it flashed in my mind, hey, you might have something here. So I went to that ditch, a little gully, and made it to the tree line. And about past that when I stood up to get a little bit better speed. But had to watch out for booby traps and everything going back to my pickup point. And that squad had been there every day to the pickup point. And they got complacent. They come to pick me up when I was there. They come to pick me up. It sounded like a herd of dump trucks running empty with a lot of tin cans in it.
Anyone who's ever fired the fabulous .50 caliber machine gun has been impressed by the incredible velocity, ballistics, and size of that cartridge. It was Carlos Hathcock during the Vietnam War that instituted using that cartridge in the .50 caliber machine gun with his universal scope mounted on it for long-range shooting with some fabulous results.